turn my music off. All right, hello everybody.
Right.
Welcome back to Sooner Nation. Steve he is home. You know, it looks like he's got this.
I'm at Toomer's Corner. I'm down at Auburn. I wanted to get a look at JA live and in person. That's Toomer's trees right behind me down here at Toomer's Corner. But full transparency, Jeremy. It's the series finale of the Summer I Turned Pretty, and I was informed by my wife and daughter that my yelling is bothersome, and that it's tough enough for Belly to make a decision. That I need to be outside, so my yelling will not bother them. Now, my yelling will hopefully bother Jackson Arnold this Saturday.
That's not surprising. The only thing that surprises me is that you would do this podcast and not watch the end of that. It just seems like a perfect
I have not watched 1 second of that show, nor do I plan to.
It's all right. Honey,
Dick Goss would make me cast in my man card if I watched 1 second of that.
If you only knew all the shows that Lindsay has made me watch over the years, you'd be like, what? I mean, this is coming from two guys that watch the North and South.
Hey, do not disrespect Ori Main in anywhere around this podcast.
To this day, I use references from that.
Yeah.
Up Mains and up Sirs all the time.
Yep.
College grad. I mean, how long can we go on about that? I mean, Jesus.
Yes.
That might be a whole completely different.
So if you came here for 1980s miniseries or current day teen dramas, you're in the wrong place, actually. We've got Auburn to talk about. And Jeremy, should we start? Let's start here. I think there's been lots of bedwetting already with the injury report. And if you haven't seen it, following people are listed as out: Jeremiah Newcomb, Troy Everett, Jacob Sexton, Jake Taylor. None of those things are new. I think all those guys are out for the year. Giovanni Gibson, Eli Bowen are both doubtful. I think both those guys will be back for Kent State. Maybe Giovanni gives it a little bit of a run here this weekend. Questionable: Zion Kearney, Fabechi Wiwu, Michael Fasusi, Jake Michaela, Isaiah Dent, Marvin Jones Jr. With the exception of Dent and Kearney, to some degree, those are all guys we need healthy on that questionable list. Probable, I think this is positive: Keontez Lewis, Danny Aquaye, and Owen Holenbeck. So, you've heard us talk from the very beginning, worrying about health, and especially offensive line health. And, I thought Gabe made a pretty good point the other day of these guys just need to get out there and play. What do you think, Jeremy? What have you heard? Who all do you think will actually play on Saturday, and who do you think might not play?
I think Keontez Lewis being questionable or being probable.
Probable.
That's a good sign, especially after the hit he took, especially with Giovanni Gibson. I said something like, if Giovanni Gibson I think after our post-game pod, Giovanni Gibson comes back, it's really not the big a loss as Keontez Lewis, but also, too, it still might be just because him and Mateer's got to work and get game mode. I think that it would be better for him to come back for Kent State, and then you get I guess we get a bye week then Kent State, don't we? Is that how it is?
Yes. But, yeah. Either way, we've got 2 bye weeks until Texas, really.
Well, yeah. And that said, I don't know. Have we seen anybody come in and just been like, when they're in, it hurts us? I mean, that's how much depth we have right now. It's just, I just don't see a whole lot of I'd be surprised if Fasusi isn't playing. I mean,
I think the guy's a gamer. I think he's going to play.
Yeah,
I think all those guys give it a run. I think there's a chance some of them may get taken out. But, I mean, it's one of those things of, for better or for worse, we've got a lot of guys who have played a lot of football on that offensive line. And, because of how bad our offensive line was last year, we're not going to throw a lot of people out there. I mean, is it going to bother me if OJ plays? No. Is it going to bother me if Logan Howland plays? No. I think those guys are capable players, and I think, Howland's better than he was a year ago. I think Foje's better than some of the people who started last year. Sounds like Michaela is, to me, the scariest one would be if we lost Michaela, but not having Everett, you don't have that backup. You just worry about the snap and somebody, a bad snap, short field, giving a fumble to somebody. I think those are really the biggest concerns I have in the injury report. But you notice who's not a lot of guys on the injury report. Notice Gentry Williams' name was not on there at all.
I was about to ask the Gentry on there, and that's huge. I mean, but our secondary has been, and corner play has been a big surprise, in my opinion, the first 3 games.
Without a doubt.
Moving Dolby over and just playing corner, having that guy in your back pocket is he is a Swiss Army knife of the defense for sure. So not too worried about that side of the ball. I can promise you that much.
I'm not either. Going back offensively, I mean, yeah, we hope those guys are in there. As far as news that I've read, and this is coming from George Stoya, give George credit, but Michaela, Weewu, and Keontae all practiced today. Yeah. And Fasusi did not practice, but he was running and jogging like along the side. So it sounds to me like all those guys are probably on pace to at least give it a go on Saturday. And I know that Marvin Jones Jr. is a surprise to me. The information I've gotten there is that he has back spasms. That's something that happened to him in camp too. So hopefully, back spasms come and go. Hopefully that's gone, because with R. Mason not being there, I really think Marvin Jones probably been our best defensive end this year. Honestly, nothing against R. Mason, but it is nice that Okoye looks like he'll be able to be back this week. We do need some more depth there, but I've got faith in Wine, and PJ to me has looked better and better. I think we've still got depth there at defensive end, even if Marvin Jones's back is balky to the point where he can't go.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, I've put some stuff out on TikTok just about me drinking the Kool-Aid, and I think it's the defense. When you watch this defense play, I know, it's so funny because everybody's talking about how great Jackson Arnold's playing. I would love to compare their stats from when his first 3 games at OU last year, 3 games now. I think you see a lot of similarities.
Well, here's what Jackson's done. Here's what Jackson's done this year. Jackson is 48 of 69 passing for 501 yards. He has 4 touchdowns, but 251 of those, half of those passing yards, were against Ball State. And the other 2 games he combined for 250 yards. Okay, that's against Baylor and South Alabama. Jackson's carried it 35 times for 239 yards, and he also has 4 touchdowns running the ball as well. Now, this is maybe a little bit of an announcer jinx, but you know how many turnovers Jackson Arnold has so far this year, Jeremy?
0.
You know how many turnovers the Sooners defense has gotten this year, Jeremy?
0.
I don't think those 2 numbers stay the same after Saturday. I'm just throwing that out there.
I know, and it's so funny. People are like, we can't just keep playing and not getting turnovers. I'm like, turnovers are going to come, but you also have to look at the game plans that these teams have implemented against us. I mean, everybody's getting the ball out. I mean, guys, they watch tape. They understand what our defensive line looks like. I mean, do you notice when quarterbacks do 5-step drops, how quick our defensive line is on them? Not to mention some of the stunts and different blitz packages he threw at Temple. Can you imagine what he's going to do to Jackson Arnold? I mean. Yeah.
And I mean, we all know, all this pod knows I'm not a Jackson fan. And, but that being said, even the most ardent Jackson supporter is going to tell you Jackson's strength is not taking 5-7-step drops and going through his progressions and making the right read. That's not what Jackson's good at. Jackson is mobile. He's got a strong arm. He could throw with good velocity. He's a fast guy. He's a strong guy. And I think if we can just put Jackson in positions where he has to be a passer, make him play quarterback, I think it's going to be a long night for Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, I watched him against Baylor. Baylor's not a dominant defense by any means. I'm not saying they're a bad defense, but he looked lost a lot of times in that game. He made a couple plays, and you know what? He did against Baylor what we'd asked for last year. If he'd have done that against Missouri.
He also got lucky the one backwards pass it wasn't a fumble in that game.
I think I said to our friend group, I think I've seen that before.
Yeah. But, talking about that Baylor game, Baylor outgained Auburn 483 to 415. So 483 yards to Baylor. Baylor threw for 419 yards in that game. Okay. Now they only ran for 64. Okay. But Auburn only passed for 108 yards. Now they ran for 307. If we give up 307 yards on the ground to Auburn on Saturday, I'm pretty sure that stadium will erupt because Brent Venables will have absolutely spontaneously combusted on the sidelines before he gives up 307 yards rushing. But, something that happened in that game is 5 times Baylor got in the red zone, and they only scored 2 of those times. They had 3 trips to the red zone that they did not score a point in a game that they lost 38-24. So you put those 2 touchdowns on there, that's a tie game. And I think a lot of us watched that game. It was a Friday night game. And, another thing to throw out there with Auburn is they lost the second half last week to South Alabama. They were up 28-9 at halftime. South Alabama outscored them 6-3 in the second half. And South Alabama had 310 yards. Auburn had 337. South Alabama threw for 170, ran for 140. Auburn threw for 142 and ran for 195. So if you're only – I just don't know. And I don't know, Jeremy, the narrative that Auburn's receivers are just so great and they're going to give us so much problems. And here's the deal. I'm not trying to jinx us, but what have they done so far to prove that?
Yeah. And my whole thing with this, and I think I'm just come to the realization, like, I'm just going to enjoy it because we're all so scared about getting our hopes up. Like, they crushed our hearts last year. But, like, we all have working eyeballs. We watch this defense. We watch what John Mateer is doing right now as a quarterback. We watch the praise he's getting as a quarterback because he's making the plays that he needs to make to win football games. And he is top the Heisman Trophy boards. Did we say last year or this year that we're like, John Mateer needs to be a Heisman Trophy winner? No, we said just be a serviceable guy, makes good decisions, and complements his defense, which is literally everything that he's done. I mean, so I think we have something real special, and I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but I'm watching what's going on right now in college football.
Well, it's dangerous territory right now, Jeremy. I mean, truth serum into any of us, not to put the cart in front of the schooner here, but right now you look at South Carolina has struggled. I mean, obviously, people who follow this pod know my thoughts there, but Sellers got hurt last week. They were losing even when he got hurt. That looks like a much more winnable game. Obviously, Texas, the struggles with Arch, that looks like a much more winnable game. We're going to beat Kent State. Could you tell me we're 7-0 after that game? I mean, I think we might all be disappointed if we're not from what we've seen currently. And this is going into this when we had what was our over-under for the year, 6.5 or 7? And so we got a chance to get that in our first 7 games. But we can't go backwards. Right now, all the momentum is still moving positively forward. And we just have to keep moving in that right direction. And I want to see John Mateer have a game where he doesn't turn the ball over. As good as John Mateer's been, and he's vaulted to the top of the Heisman things, these turnovers deep in the other team's territory is going to come back and bite us in the rear sometime. Because even though I just downplayed it a little bit here, we do know Auburn has really good receivers. Auburn's got a good offensive line. Auburn's got, whether we like him or not, a former 5-star quarterback. And if we turn the ball over that deep, Hugh Freeze is a innovative offensive guy. They're going to get some sort of look, some sort of something with that. And so I'm interested to see that. But to me, I think the biggest key going into this is for us when defensively, if we can stop the run, and I think Jeremiah Cobb's a good running back. He's got over 300 yards on the year. But I don't think he's better than the kid from Michigan. Do you?
No, I don't. And did you see the list of 5-star quarterbacks the year Jackson Arnold came out?
Yeah.
I mean, is that not eye-opening?
Maybe the kid at Oregon, and his name leaves me right now, but who went to UCLA and then went to Oregon. Maybe he pans out, but it's wild, absolutely wild. I mean, our takes that if there would have been a Sooner cast before last season, that Arch was worse than Jackson Arnold may be true, but we may have both lost that bet. Who knows?
Hey, did you have Arch Manning switching to wide receiver on your bingo card before the season started?
Yeah,
I had somebody put that. Does Arch Manning need to go play receiver? I'm like, does he? is he that good of an athlete? Or did the people look at him and be like, we got to keep him on the football field if he's not playing quarterback? But it's so funny, though. Sark has all of a sudden is not smart and doesn't know how to coach football because the way they've played. Just like Brent Venables. Now Brent Venables is getting all these accolades of how great a coach he is. It's quarterback-driven. Football is quarterback-driven in any high school, college, NFL. We have a very good quarterback. They don't have a quarterback that's playing very good football right now. What's going on? We look better than they do.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy, but the loser of this game Saturday, whether it's Brent Venables or Hugh Freeze, that person's back on the hot seat after Saturday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been impressed with Hugh Freeze, to be honest, if you want my honest opinion.
I mean, we all laughed about him, but, I mean, they've had a decent start. I mean, I thought they would lose that game to Baylor. I did. I picked them to lose that game to Baylor. I mean, I'm eating some crow right now, and that makes me – I think we're going to win this game Saturday, but I don't have the same exact positive feelings I had going into the Michigan game, whether it's the offensive line injuries or just concern over the talent Auburn has or what. But, I mean, there's a world where things don't go well for us. There's a world where, you know, we do have to play a backup center and we fumble 3 snaps. You know, There's a world where all we've been told is Jackson's got this great arm talent and it finally turns out. I mean, who knows? Yeah. I hope it doesn't. But okay, Jeremy.
I just don't think Jackson Arnold's decision making is. I just sometimes you're not a good quarterback in college. You can't read the defense the way. And I don't know. Did you listen to Gabe and Teddy and talk to Jason Campbell? I mean, it's kind of interesting some of the stuff that you hear. So, it's not the same stuff we heard last year. So.
Right. Okay, Jeremy, weigh in on this. I'll be there Saturday. You know what I'm going to do. But you tell me, I saw a tweet come out of like, number 1, I root for Jackson every game but this one. Number 2, I just don't care. Number 3, boo that man.
To me, it's 2 and 3. I mean, he doesn't. You go for a guy because you love the guy because it's.
I love the guys in crimson and cream. Okay.
You remember what I used to always say about Baker? I used to say if he didn't play for OU, I'd probably hate him. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I like OU Sooners when they don't play for OU anymore. I just tend to not root for them. I just don't know why, but that's just this type of person I am. But.
And I mean, I'm this way. Jackson's a kid. He is, but Jackson's also a millionaire playing football. Okay. Yeah. And Jackson was bad at football last year for the Sooners. And do we blame Seth and do we blame injuries and do we blame Brent and all that stuff? Yes. But at the same time, I mean, he single-handedly cost us the Tennessee and the Missouri games last year. And I don't think that's really up for debate. And
if you want to dig into the weeds a little bit more too, you could say he cost us for South Carolina because Michael Hawkins had to start that game.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just – and here's the deal. If he really – I mean, he also chose to go to a school he knew was playing at Oklahoma this year. So he knew what he was walking into here, okay? Mm-hmm. This wasn't like he went there and then the schedule popped up and he was like, well, crap. I mean, he knew this was coming and he went there. And we need to make it uncomfortable for him. It needs to be a toxic atmosphere for him to play in. I don't mean be personal. I don't mean like death threats to the kid or talking about, anything like that. Not at all, guys. I mean, this is about football. But about football, we need to make it as uncomfortable for that man as we possibly can.
Well, and I think if you ask most OU fans, they'd be like, I hope the guy has a great career. I mean, just because it's going good for us now. If we were 2-1, 1-2 right now, we'd be like, I hope that guy tears his ACL because that's what we are. Winning makes us feel happier. I'm a happier guy right now. So I
mean, okay, tell me this: who do you harbor more ill will towards, Caleb Williams or Jackson Arnold? Okay. Caleb Williams or Jackson Arnold?
I thought that was a question. Who was it? Jackson Arnold? Who?
Caleb Williams.
Oh, good one. Probably Caleb Williams. I just don't like him. He's got a punchable face.
Okay. See, I'm going to go because here's the deal. Caleb Williams did bring me joy. That Texas win, I'll remember that. That comeback was awesome. he did bring me
He
joy.
made Spencer Rattler transfer.
Yes.
God
But I mean, here's the
damn.
deal. Was Spencer Rattler a better quarterback at OU than Jackson Arnold was? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you're not playing for us anymore. You went somewhere else. You weren't very good when you were with us. I'm just not going to be the guy of like, boy, I'm sure. Here's Jackson. Yay.
Mhm.
No, I mean, screw that guy. We sucked. He sucked too. I want to win. Winning good, losing bad.
I just keep watching that throw against Missouri. I think that's probably what makes my blood boil. And so I'm like, you sorry sucker. All you got to do is just complete a forward pass against Tennessee. We beat Tennessee. Okay, I'm sorry to go back to last year. I know we.
Well, we have to. But okay, don't you think this, Jeremy? And we'll kind of turn the page with this. Don't you think if we win, if we win Saturday, okay? Don't you think we can finally shut up about last year?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about last year's quarterback. And I think it was George, maybe it was someone else, of like, quit talking about last year. I think we have to talk about last year with this game because of who we're playing. But we win this, last year's dead. And then we get to move on to this year. But I think we need to exercise that demon and win on Saturday.
I do think it's funny, though, this is our, let's see, about third biggest game of Brent Venables' career this season out of the four. It's like we beat Michigan and everybody was like, that's the biggest win. Then we go like, well, he's playing Temple on the road. Let's see how he deals with success. I mean, me and you both said it. And let's see how he handles it. To me, I said, I'm going to be really excited about this team if they come out and play like they did last weekend, because that shows maturity in a football team. Because that is very tough to play in Temple.
In front of 20,000
an NFL
people.
stadium that is basically you're building your own, like you're motivating yourself because there's not a whole lot of things motivating you.
No, it's like bring your own juice,
I mean, they played a damn good football game last weekend.
They were super clean, man. It was really impressive last week.
Clean.
It really was.
And that's what's so funny is we still haven't played our best football. We ain't turned anybody over. I'm like, what would the score look like if we got some turnovers?
Yeah. Well, like I said,
we didn't turn the ball over. We would never give up a point.
I mean, we're due some regression on that turnover thing, and hopefully that starts this week. But I do think it's not important, but I do think we would not do injustice to covering things. I think there's a greater chance that Jaden Ott is not part of this football team, the Texas game, than there is that Jaden Ott is an impact player in the Texas game. If you notice on the depth chart, he's off kick return. He's listed as an as the third running back. Taylor Tatum is kind of healthy now, so there really isn't a need for him. And I think this is just, we always want everybody to be perfect. I think this is a swing and a miss on Nagy. I don't blame DeMarco on this, guys. I mean, because here's the deal. I would blame DeMarco if we had no running backs. But Torrey Blaylock looks like a good running back. Now, we'll see. He's going to play against a much better team. But our offense looks a heck of a lot better. And if Jaden Ott doesn't want to be a part of it, doesn't want to buy into the culture and what we're trying to build, see you later, man. Keep your 4 games. See if you can transfer somewhere else. Go to the draft, whatever you want to do. But either get in or get out.
I think he's a new name that everybody got pumped up about.
And I mean,
nobody.
And we were fed it. We were fed it.
Well, don't you agree? Like, we heard about Blaylock, but until we saw him, now it's like, to me, people ask me about Ott. I'm like, who gives a crap about Ott? I'm like, if Blaylock's running for 100 yards, it's kind of like the Rodney Anderson situation. Do you remember when Rodney Anderson had that big year in 2015? He didn't break out until probably midway of the season. And I was like, why are they first of the year, I was like, Rodney Anderson, why does he keep seeing the field? And then he just keeps breaking these long runs. And I'm like, okay, we can't take Rodney Anderson off the football field. And I feel like that's how we're going to be with Blaylock. Eventually, we're going to look at it and be like, when Blaylock's not in there, we suffer.
Well, here's the deal, Jeremy. Track speed helps. And Blaylock has track speed. And I mean, fast guys are good at football. Okay? He's got good vision. I mean, I don't give a crap what number it is at the backfield. I just want us to be able to run the football with a running back. And we'll be able to run the football between the tackles with the running back. And as long as we can do that, I could care less on what number he's wearing or how much NIL he's getting. I mean, once again, do I think this is a miss on Nagy? Yeah, but you know what? We all miss sometimes. This guy right here was pumped up about last year, and we sucked. I was wrong. I thought Seth Luttrell was a great hire because I think what Brent was trying to do with Seth is, I think this is a point that Jason Campbell made on the Gabe and Teddy pod is, Brent's a defensive guy. He wants an offensive coordinator who can be a tough guy like him, who can eat the clock and do the things that he wants to do, but win it with your defense. That's what he thought Seth was. He thought Seth was a tough guy who's going to manage things and do it and be tough and be aggressive. And that didn't work out. But you know what? We're on to the next thing. I was wrong. I think Nagy's wrong on this. And you know what? I don't really care. Like you said, maybe Jaden Ott does come out and rush for 120. If he does, I'll eat crow 100%. Put it on my plate. I'll put some A1 on it and I'll eat it. It's fine.
If and this goes to Sooner Nation, if you start getting down about Jaden Ott not being the player you thought he was, take your Jaden Ott and raise you Jared Kennick.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the guy is completely surprises. Now being mentioned as one of the best tight ends in the country.
Well, you know who leads tight ends in receiving? I know it's 3 games. And I know it's not great competition, but it's still him.
I mean,
this is an idiot who's telling you don't even need a tight end. So, look at me.
If I could show you our friend group text messages, they're like, we've got a freaking linebacker starting at tight end. We have a huge problem still in that group. And you know what? I kind of agreed with him because I'm like, this is a problem if he's beating these guys out. Now we're seeing why he's beating everybody out. I mean, look at the NFL. Antonio Gates, when he got to the NFL, was a basketball player. Sometimes at tight end, if you got athletes that can just make plays, they make a lot of money. And Jared Kennick is probably looking at it and thinking, I just made myself a lot of money making this move. I mean,
and look, I think Kennick still has. He's
going to shoot up draft boards if he keeps doing the same thing.
I still think Kennick has some work to do as a blocker and, all those kind of things. But, man, I mean, he's kind of setting up as Mateer's security blanket. And we all know those things are really, really good to have. I know there's lots of talk about Auburn's linebackers not being very big. And, that's a matchup that we can look to exploit. But, but kind of before we get into predictions, something else I just really wanted to talk about is one reason I do feel good about Saturday is no matter who's on our offensive line, no matter, Keontae plays, doesn't play, Giovanni plays, doesn't play, I have faith that Arbuckle is going to put us in the best positions to win with the talent that we have. And that's all you can really ask from a coach, right? Is to put us in that position. And I think we've got a leader in Mateer who's going to get us to compete and do things how we want to do them. And I think we've got a guy in BV that the team loves. I just really don't see how the team is going to let Jackson Arnold, of all people, come in and give us a loss.
I don't either. And Arbuckle's turning into probably Brent's best hire since becoming coach. I mean, I look at Bates and Chavis are right there, but this is
not as important of a position. Yeah.
Well, and also too, but he was like Arbuckle's his high, like his.
That's
hire,
all him. Yeah,
that's all him, and so it's ended up being a home run. The dude is I mean, he's you know what's awesome and something that I didn't. I think I noticed it now that after watching Arbuckle and Venable's defense, there was no communication with Bob Stoops and Lincoln Riley. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't you agree?
Who wanted to talk to Lincoln Riley? They're too busy burning briskets.
Fucking brisket burner. But no, I just look at it like you can tell, like Arbuckle talks to Brent. It's like, hey, let's look at this, and they work on their game plan together. And I think that's where you get good football teams because they complement. His offense and that defense complement each other. So
it goes back to Jeremy. We talked about it after the game, but my favorite drive of the year was the Michigan drive that ended in a field goal that salted the game away. That's winning football. That's what winning football teams do. And
Yeah.
I think it was the unofficial 40. I've listened to both today. I listened to the unofficial 40. I listened to Game and Teddy hearing which one it was. But one of the two was talking about, can this team go win games in the fourth quarter? We did against Michigan. I personally don't think this is a game we're going to have to win in the fourth quarter.
No,
I think this is a game we're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I think this is – I'll go ahead and give you my score prediction right now. I think this is Oklahoma 31. I think this is Auburn 13 is kind of where I'm leaning with it. I just don't know unless Jackson just does something unexpected or we have some unexpected injuries or penalty flags are flying. I don't see this defense giving up 24 points to an offense that's been as one-sided as Auburn's. I just don't.
Well, and I think this is Jackson's kryptonite. Not to mention one of the best defensive minds in college football, Brent Venables, but also, too, a defensive coordinator who he used to play, who was his head coach.
Who he literally practiced against last year.
Yeah, do you think Brent Venables doesn't know what to throw against Jackson Arnold? Like, he's going to have that kid confused. I mean, I'll tell you my prediction just because you gave yours and because I think that we could have one of those little turnovers again. I'm kind of teetering like we might score more points in this, but I said 34-10 is what I thought it would be.
We're in the same ballpark.
We're kind of the same ballpark, but and also too.
Shocker.
Yeah. But if it's 34-10, I'm probably going to find a new house. Once he's getting so mad about me predicting scores here lately. But really, I think we're going to get a turnover out of Jackson Arnold, and that's why it's like I think we can get more points off of him. I think your secondary, too, for Auburn is not strong. I think we have there's some spots where we can hit them deep. So, and Mateers extends plays. The guy, I mean, he's done it all already. He's made a highlight film out of 3 games already. I mean, he's a winner. I mean, you can look at guys and just tell they're winners. I mean, Jackson Arnold. I know it
is pretty interesting that this was a Texas high school football matchup at one point. Arnold and Mateer played against each other, but Arnold also had the Eli and Peyton win on his team.
I think he might have had a little. Didn't Texas might have been a little.
I did find one thing interesting in that game. Looking at the stats, Jackson was just 11 for 22 in that game too, and ran for close to 100 yards too. And I mean, I guess it's one of those things. I don't follow high school recruiting quite as much as some, but maybe that's who Jackson is. That's who Jackson's going to be. I just see him like you. I see him throwing the ball to us. I see him getting some first down runs, but I don't see big, long 30, 40-yard runs. I think we're more disciplined than that. Yeah. But I do think Hugh Freeze dials up something to get them a touchdown, maybe 2, but I don't see us giving up more than 2.
No, I don't either. No, but it's exciting. I think we're getting to the brunt of it and getting closer to OU Texas.
Yep, that's what we're looking forward to,
Yeah. But everything's out in front of us. Like we're doing everything that we had to have a special year, and I think that's what's so exciting for OU fans is that we know what it looks like whenever you got a special team. To me, I watch this team play, and I have a better feeling than, and I know it's early, but 2015 when Baker's year, I was just like, this team just got a different feel to it.
Yeah.
And
if we had Texas's schedule, guys, I'd go ahead and book us in a playoff right now. It's just we do play some tough competition.
We are because of our sponsorship probably going to happen by then. We could probably already book our hotels.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of sponsorships and that sort of thing, we had good traffic on our post-game pod the other day. So good to see that. Love seeing the comments, guys. Always do that. Jeremy and I love interacting with you. Anytime, send an email, soonercast@gmail.com. Hopefully, I'm not getting on driving home Saturday night doing a post-game pod, making my wife hold the phone up. And how did Jackson Arnold just throw for 300 yards against us? Oh, my God. So hopefully that's not happening. But thanks again, guys.
Yeah. Hey, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. Probably won't do one Saturday night because I am going to Shane Gillis on Saturday night after the games. Hopefully, I'm celebrating no you win. But so hey, we got up to 114 subscribers, so we've gained a few more. So keep them coming, guys. Ask questions and till our post game. Boomer Sooner.
Boomer. I can go back inside now.